You make every shot count.
Alright everyone, well today I'm going to do a review of The Last of Us, and the things I'll be including will be sound, gameplay and story. Hope you guys enjoy it. Well, first off, the theme tune of The Last of Us consists of slow guitar strings which help aid the genre of the game, or survival. The guitars played softly but eerily, the thought of running what the game is about. The sound seems very deep south to the guitar tune. The main character also sounds southern, so this would suggest the game is set in south of USA. Also, a game similar to this tune is Left 4 Dead. The tune starts off sound southern, which is also the same as The Last of Us. In the game The Last of Us, it features many background and ambient noises. These noises include birds chirping, buildings falling, water running. The list could go on forever. The background music seen in the clip at the moment shows birds tweeting and water running. This gives the player a feeling of a break from the zombies as life is still beautiful during such an apocalyptic time.
I don't know yet.
The sound is beautiful within this game. It is probably regarded as one of the best sounds ever Naughty Dog or any other company have done. In the next clip we see that the sound matches the environment. The sound of rain falling off the building, and the building itself creaking. It gives you a feeling as if you're Joel and Ellie and Tess. The floorboards creaking also add enhancement to the gameplay. Sound effect is a mandatory part of the game, and The Last of Us perfects the element. Within this clip we see the use of gunshots as sound effects. Gunshots are needed with the other sound effects so that the game feels realistic, and The Last of Us does this well. This links with the surroundings of the level, because the scene is clearly a shootout or fight scene, so gunshots and melee attacks will clearly be noticed if you hit or shoot someone. Another clip we see here is that the sound realistic, the door creaking open just as if someone's just opened the door in your house. This is effective as it makes the player feel immersed within the game, as if it draws you in. Music in this game is rich and cleverly put. In this clip we see the use of a saxophone or some similar instrument. The use of this gives the player enough hope is lost. The sound was low and slow. This would affect the gameplay. For example, slow music, slow gameplay, and vice versa if it was fast or slow or fast. The sound also reminds you of losing because of a slow rhythm. In this clip, we hear the sound of drums or bongos being used. This would be used at a high pace to increase intensity within a certain part of a game. This syncs with the game as it makes you feel like you're being pursued, a lot like the game plot of Horror Survival. The Last of Us. The world appears to be post-apocalyptic, which matches the theme of the game. Cities destroyed, growing vegetation over cars and roads. It all gives off the feel of an apocalyptic game. The characters within the game are lifelike and unforgettable. Joel is the guy you play, he seems tough and hardy. The two NPCs are Ellie, who seems courageous but frightened, and Tess, who is very fearsome. The feedback interface of The Last of Us is rather unique. She can quickly craft and swap weapons without having to load up the screen. The perspective of The Last of Us is third person, which closely relates itself to Tomb Raider 2013, as it has the same feel to it. The SMV of The Last of Us is near perfect, and the cutscenes itself are too good to skip, as it feels like you're watching a film. The visual styles, which this is comparable regarding the visual styles of Gears of War, purely for the fact it has very close visuals to The Last of Us, post-apocalyptic and deserted along the theme with the mutant enemy. But all in all, The Last of Us overpowers the visual of Gears of War due to the scenery and the character relationship. The single player of The Last of Us is very immersive, and once you're coming back for more, it is interactive with the story as the main theme. Multiplayer, however, didn't succeed as much as single player, purely because there wasn't much variety to it. The stealth was limited, the maps were repetitive along with the game modes, only 3. There were upgradable items, however, and there was no true level. Single player overpowered multiplayer. The game is very narrative and follows a strong story which leads to goals. The goals of The Last of Us was to get Ellie to the Fireflies, which are the good guys, safe and sound, whilst avoiding infected and hunters so you can find supplies to stay alive. The challenges within the game are to gather supplies and to craft and to kill infected, which allow you to pass through safely. Rewards are featured. These include achievement points, and supplies, ammo, and health kits. Players' actions include the use of guns and melee, craftable items, puzzles, and climbing ladders. The rules of the game are basic, which imply you can't kill a friendly NPC, obviously. The difficulty of the game is set how you put it. It ranges in 5 different types: easy, normal, hard, survivor, and grounded. The game mechanics of The Last of Us include inventory is stored with gear and craftable items. Scoring in multiplayer is dependent on the game mode, which means mainly 10 points per kill, however bonus damage for damage done. The combat system is clearly balanced, which disallows blocking. This would interfere with the fluid movement. A game comparable in the sense gameplay is again Tomb Raider of 2013. The craft system is quite similar, as both use weapons to upgrade. The Last of Us involves the story of Joel and Ellie, two survivors during a zombie apocalypse. The game genre is survival horror, which is the only game Naughty Dog have done in the genre. Similar games to The Last of Us, Tomb Raider, which has similar aspects of survival and feeling vulnerable from the environment, which is quite prominent throughout survival games, because it gives that feeling of being alone, which adds to this experience. Another game similar is Far Cry 3. Again, this is similar to the feeling of being vulnerable alone, which puts the games of this genre to add to the horror survival experience. Some past games Naughty Dog have created were Uncharted 2, Among Thieves. This game is quite similar due to the fact that it's in third person and is linear. The Last of Us clearly has a heavy storyline. A heavy storyline is a story which has many elements which give the game more playtime. This includes plot twists to keep you playing. The Last of Us follows the structure of a hero's journey, which involves the use of a complex story which immerses the player. A lot more advanced in the 3-point structure, beginning, middle, end. The fact that it is a hero's journey, 12-point structure, shows that the game will be packed with a large story. The Last of Us story is fully linear because it matches the theme of getting the character to safety. Again, linking with the genre which adds fear of horror survival. The idea that you have to follow a story with no freedom makes you feel restricted, just as if the character had no choice too. Within The Last of Us, stereotyping is rarely used due to the fact that your own enemies are either thugs or zombies. The zombies are generic slow walkers, loud, drowsy and stupid. However, there is variation within zombies to try and avoid some stereotypes of generic zombies. Ellie is not portrayed as the average 13, 14-year-old girl within the game. She is strong-willed and precocious girl, which is not saying much within games, so this could be opening a door for future games, rather than the male being strong-willed and the main character. The thugs or hunters in the game are fairly mixed with regarding races. However, there's a scene in which Ellie is cornered by a suspected paedophile, who appears to be an old man with a soft, airy voice, which is depicted in some films as being a paedophile. There are various amounts of emotions in The Last of Us, almost as if the game is trying to make you feel for the characters. Some beginning emotions for the game of curiosity, wondering what the game is like, as at the beginning you were in a house like a normal modern day. This takes you into the game, make you more curious why the game is like that at the beginning. Soon the game sees heroism, getting Ellie to the fireplace to save humanity, to feel like a hero. The Last of Us has no options to finish the story in the way, which also shows how the story is very linear. There are cutscenes which are too good to miss, however they do not allow you to change the decision because it's linear. The only customization that is available in The Last of Us is your guns. You can upgrade it online, but it only happens every match. Other than that, it is very much set out, so the customization is limited. If you want to play the game similar, but with customization, then try Fallout. This has similar elements to The Last of Us, post-apocalyptic, and allows near maximum customization of your character. It also includes an in-depth story. Right, well that's it for me guys, and I hope you enjoyed this, and it has been a pleasure reviewing The Last of Us. Thank you.
You just come after her.